Hey! I choked on myself. Damn it. Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yosh. Today we're going to talk about number 2 and 3. I messed that up even in the previous video. 2 and 3, which is positive and negative visualization, and making this day your last as one of the strategies that you can, or two of the strategies that you can use to improve your emotional well-being and fight and thwart. Thwart! I like that word. I will thwart your attempts. That's pretty good, isn't it? I don't know. Yes, so let's get straight into it. Today we're talking about negative visualization. And what is negative visualization? It doesn't sound like a thing that will improve your emotional well-being because, I don't know, it sounds, I don't know, it starts with negative, so it's probably a bad sign, right? Annoying feature number 1. Some of your strongest intuitions are often wrong. So, in this one, negative visualization is when you look at the here and now and sort of think about how this moment could have never been, right? And I'll explain that with an example instead of trying to describe it with a solid definition, because it's one of those fluid things. If you don't get an example, it's very hard to put yourself in that situation and understand what negative visualization is. So, in this research called Ku et al. In 2008, couples were taken into a study and were told to write for 15 minutes about how they might have never met their partner. And the control of that study was simply how they met. And an interesting thing happened with these subjects that were put through this test, right? The people who thought about simply how they met really just described the sequence of events that they met, and they met their partner, their soulmate, whatever it is, and they described the events that led up to that moment and up to this current moment, and it didn't really improve their emotional well-being as much. It was just like, yeah, it was this, that, and the other, okay, sequence of events. It was very chronological, and there was no evoking of emotions on that front. But then, the couples that were told to think about and write for 15 minutes about how they may have never met their perfect partner, or their partner that they have right now, not perfect partner, no one's perfect. Everyone's a little bit busted, we all got a few chinks in the armor, alright? We all got, band-aids holding stuff together. Always remember that. They were told to think about how they would have never met their partner and write about that. And when they thought about all the things that could have got in the way of them coming together, or being a couple, or moving forward together, or coming this far in a marriage or a relationship, or with all these things that you guys have accrued, or whatever, it made them feel much more thankful for the partner that they have and the relationship that they're in. So there was a whole 1-point improvement in emotional well-being before and after the test when people thought about how something could have never happened. That's what negative visualization is. If you are in a situation right now, whether you're in a holiday, or whether you are in a good relationship, whether you are doing well in your work, or you've just sort of gotten used to the work that you're in, negative visualization helps you understand. It helps you appreciate what you have right now as opposed to anything else, because you're constantly seeking the next thing, because we are terrible at looking at things in absolutes. So this is fighting annoying feature number 2 as well. For me, it was my job, right? I didn't want to admit, even right now, I have not put anywhere in my descriptions or bios that I work as a cleaner in a hospital. I wasn't proud of it. I wasn't proud of it at all. I thought it was, just another job. People will look at me and be like, oh, well, he's not qualified, he's not intelligent, he's just a person who can't get a job and is just working a menial job. You know, that's how I looked at myself. That's how I looked at the job. And I always thought it was, oh, well, it's just not the job. It's, money coming in. That's pretty much it. Like, no value for it. But now, looking at the negative visualization aspect of it, I look at the things that it could have been without that job. I could have never got that job. The state that I would be in right now would be much, much, much worse if it wasn't for that job, which makes me much, much more thankful to actually be in that job and be part of the hospital. Even during these times of crisis, it actually gives me an extreme amount of peace. Whenever I'm in the hospital cleaning, everyone's like, aren't you afraid you might actually get the virus or get hurt or get sick and you might get very severely ill? I don't know. For me, that is the closest I've been to feeling alive. When I'm doing a COVID clean inside the hospital, there is the task at hand and nothing else. I'm not thinking about my mortgage. I'm not thinking about, past relationships. I'm not thinking about current relationships. I'm not thinking about whether my legs are hurting. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to drive back home. I'm not thinking about what time it is. I'm just there. I'm putting on my PPE. I'm doing exactly what I was supposed to train to do. I've got a task at hand. I have to finish that task in a specific order. My health is of utmost importance. Pure, absolute focus. Nothing else matters. And that there's no substitute for it. And I said this recently in an interview with one of my friends from radio back in Colombo as well. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I don't for a moment think that I'll get sick. I just have pure focus for those, for that period of time that I'm confronted with my life, I'm on the very edge of being sick. This is real contact. Anyway, that's what negative visualization is. It helps us to really extract us, pull us out of our own timeline and have a look at where you are here and now. It just pulls you out from both positive and the negative. You pull yourself out and look at it. Is it objectively? You look at it objectively. You look at your current situation objectively and you go, well, all of this could have never happened. And makes you a little bit more thankful for what you do have. Number 3, living like this is your last day. Make this day your last. This is also another research done by Kurtz, 2008. A bunch of Yale students were told to write about their college experience, and some of them were told that they had a significant amount of time left, and some of them were told that they have a very short time at Yale left. And the thing here is that it was a trick, sort of, because the way they describe short and long in the test is by using different metrics. Like, for example, when they said that some students had a short amount of time in Yale, they defined it as 1,200 hours. They put the number in hours, so 1,200 hours of study left, or school time left. And the people who had a long time left, they were described as a people who had quarter of a year left. So it's just the terms that they changed, but technically, if you do the math, it's the same amount of time. It's a trick, right? But people who saw that, were given the short amount of time, 1,200 hours, as opposed to the long, they thought about how everything is going to be over soon, how none of this will last, so it makes every moment counting down from now very precious. The time that you live in the dorm with your friends, your batchmates, your classes, your lecturers, the things you get up to in university, all that stuff. This is a great example. University, all of that are time-bound. After that point, you leave, you enter real life, you go into the realities of the world. Excuse me! Hey, oh, Jesus. Whew. Where was I? It stopped my heart. It made them focus on the here and now and how much time they have left. And whereas the people who thought they had a quarter of a year left, their emotional well-being dropped a few points because they focused on the stuff that was like, oh, there's more exams, there's more studying, there's more struggles ahead. They focused on the stuff that they had to go through more, and that ended up ruining their experience. Or, well, not ruining the experience. It's more decreasing their emotional well-being. So the people who had short amount of time, after the test was done, they recorded a 0.4 increase in emotional well-being, whereas the ones who got the quarter of a year long time scale dropped 0.2 points in emotional well-being. And again, what this helps you do with a relationship, with a thing that you have in your life that's important, your house, your job, your marriage, your school life, whatever it is, thinking about the day as if it's your last day here points to how much you already have and how you can lose that. When you put your life into perspective of what you are about to lose, it immediately pulls you out of the hedonic treadmill. It immediately pulls you out and go, oh wait, this is not permanent. Crap, you can't get used to it. These are all precious. Which is why some psychologists and psychiatrists, I don't know which one it is, the one that doesn't give you medicine, they do this for couples therapy as well. They try and make them communicate about things that you have right now and what you can lose, rather, to sort out relationships that are on the last legs, even with other sorts of complications in terms of communication and all that stuff. It still improves the results by using this. If you behave like this is your last day here on earth, then you will appreciate everything that your partner does for you. So this is a good way to break out of that hedonic treadmill. And those are the 2 points for this video. The next video will cover gratitude, which is another slightly big, chunky video. I feel like I can't not talk for less than 20 minutes to begin with. I don't know why that is, but I'm getting better. I'm trying. I think it's more down to the fact that I want to give you guys more relevant examples from my life. Like, instead of just reading out data and just reading out stats and papers and studies, I want to give you a real world look at what it means to inculcate these into your lives, and whether you can or whether you cannot, and whether it actually works. And it really has been for me. I feel so good. It's unbelievable. I went through a divorce, going through a global pandemic by myself, working at a hospital, literally facing the enemy on a daily basis, having to do my own cooking and cleaning and washing and all of that stuff by myself. You'd think that sucks. Haven't seen friends in ages. No, I'm feeling pretty damn good. And I'm sharing that stuff with you. Next video, we'll talk about gratitude and what it is and how you can be more grateful for the things that you have in your life, and small Peter McKinnon, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.